Hello, another day, another video. Thank you so much for all the support you have given me this last couple of weeks. So today I'm going to be talking about resistance. The term resistance, as far as I'm trying to relay it, comes from a book called The War of Art. And the book is written by a writer called Steven Pressfield. I believe he was initially a screenwriter. I could be wrong. And Steven Pressfield talks about all the small things that make it hard for the artist to create his art. And it's not a very big book, it's a very tiny book, and it's kind of like ideas for the artist to pay attention to as he's trying to create his art. And so I have two questions here. What is it? What is resistance? The way Steven Pressfield put it, he starts off by saying resistance is anything around you that inhibits you from creating, right? It can be starting a business, writing a book, going to the gym. Anything that ends up becoming an excuse is resistance. In my case, I'm a writer. I will tell anyone first and foremost that I am a writer. Not because I've published many books, but because this is something I aspire to. Last week, we had a week-long holiday in Japan. Now this season is called Obon. During Obon, Japanese people say that the spirit of their dead ancestors come back down to earth. So what you find is that people visit their ancestral graves and they clean the graves. During this time, my family left. So my wife, my children, they left to her hometown. And I was left home alone. Initially, my idea was when they leave, I'm going to spend most of my time writing, working out, reading, meditating, all of the good stuff. Most of that did not happen. What happened is I spent most of my time watching movies, taking naps. I would say it was generally a very relaxing time. I did do some writing, I did go to the gym, but I was not as productive as I would have liked to be. Now, day one was fine. It's understandable to say I'm going to take one day off from the grind. That makes sense. But if it goes into day two, day three, something starts gnawing away at the back of your mind, as it happened with me. And the excuse was always, let me watch this next movie and then I'll start. Let me watch this next video and I'll start. Oh man, I'm really tired. Let me just take another 20-minute nap and then I'll start. Now, all of these things are what Steven Pressfield might call resistance. So, how do I overcome resistance? If you're anything like me, so this is what, looking back at my life, I've never been able to overcome resistance as a whole. There's always another excuse. There's always another hurdle that stops me from doing the thing I intended to do. So maybe it might be possible, but it's impossible to completely overcome resistance. And this is where people fall short. So I might tell myself, you know what? I didn't do any writing today. Forget it. No writing is going to be done this week. I'm done. I didn't wake up at 4:30. I'm done. The day's done. I won't do anything then. So that's what people tend to do. And during my last share at AA, the idea popped into my head whereby I'm the kind of person who doesn't feel like something has really been done unless I do it to the point of failure. And the example I gave is the difference between a 5K run and a half marathon. A 5K run, it's, a 30-minute run, 25, 30 minutes. It's easy. You can take your time with it. You can go slow. But at the end of a 30-minute run, I personally don't feel as though I've actually done something because it was only 5K. So I tell myself, hey, when I do a half marathon, now that's a run. Now the problem with this idea is that because it's 21K, I need time. And I need time for rest after the run. So I tell myself, hey, I don't have that time today. so I'll do the half marathon tomorrow. And I look at my calendar and like I have a bunch of other things to accomplish tomorrow. So actually, no, I can't do it on Tuesday. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. Oh, I have things on Wednesday. I can't do it then. Thursday, oh, I have things. Friday, or maybe I have some time on Friday. Maybe. So what ends up happening is I don't go for the run. So in search of perfection, of the ideal of that like really hardcore 21K run, I end up not running at all. I assume this is a problem that many people deal with. You're like, hey, I'm going to start a business, but I need the best business plan. I need enough funds. I need the right partners. I need the right location. Or you think about all of these things and you end up doing nothing. That is resistance. So how do I overcome that? My experience is the best way to overcome that form of resistance is by being willing to fall short. If I am willing to fall short of my ideal, I will try. The very first step is to try. We don't know what the outcome will be. And the best idea here when thinking about overcoming resistance is to consider being outcome independent. This means I will just do the thing. Whatever happens, whether it's I fail, whether I succeed, the outcome is always one. I learned something from the attempt. If any of you have read the Bhagavad Gita, there is a portion of it that talks about Arjuna the king meeting the god Shiva. And he's going out to war. And he tells the god, hey, I don't want to fight. The people on the other side, the people that I should consider enemies, they are, maybe they're relatives, they're cousins, they're friends of my family. They are people that I might know. They are people with lives, people with families of their own. I don't want to go out and take their lives. Of course, I'm paraphrasing here. And Shiva, the god, says, your job is not to think about what will happen once you act. You only have one job. Your job is to act. All of this planning and considerations about what will happen once you act, that is not in your peripherals. Those are things you should not consider. Move first. Deal with the consequences later. Now, this is something that during World War II, there was a point whereby it seemed as though the Germans were going to win. And how is it that one country was able to do this much this much damage to the rest of Europe? This was the answer. Now, I don't actually know what the term blitzkrieg means. My understanding of it is act fast, act strong. We'll think about the considerations after the fact. Because with all military campaigns, as far as I understand, you have generals and commanders taking proper effort to consider the outcome of their actions. But the Germans say, you know what? We might not have the manpower. We might not even have sufficient weaponry. That's why we're just going to send, the Air Force and just bomb the people in London. Just bomb them. No, just drop the bombs. We'll deal with the consequences later. Now, I'm not saying what the Germans did was right, please. I'm saying maybe in our lives, we need to put out a blitzkrieg on the things we set out to do. You want to start a business, just go and start. Right? And I'm not saying that I did the same thing. When I started my business, I didn't have enough funds. I didn't have the best location. I didn't even know how I was going to market. But I decided after years and years of thinking and say I'll do it next year and next year and next year. Okay, I said, this is it. If I don't do this now, I will have no other chance. I'm getting old, man. So I shoot my shot. And what happened? I spent many months suffering, many months worrying about the rents and feeding my family, and had to get other part-time jobs. But eventually, after hustling and struggling, things worked out. Because I only had one job. Every day, I only needed to act. Come to my office, put out flyers, market on Instagram, whatever it took. Eventually, things worked out. Perfection is a disease. Perfectionism exactly. Perfectionism is a resistance. Do not wait for the perfect day, the perfect moment, the perfect people. Those things never happen. But right now, we have the power to act. Thank you very much.